Hey guys, your boy MKS here again. Back with another video. I know I did a few videos before earlier today actually about my dreams for Celtic. I did it in list form. This time I want to try and do it in just non-list form or maybe form or whatever. But anyway, so I talked before about some of my dreams for Celtic, as I say, in a list form. Yeah, I talked about like I would love Celtic to be tax exempt for all the charity work they do, or agreement where possibly I'm good tax wise or something, or just saying that the work they do for charity, or Glasgow, which is a deprived area, which is where Celtic are from. For those who don't follow football, but they probably find this video boring. I would understand. As I said before, I'd love to do a video about football, which people actually who don't even like football will say that makes me interested in football. Convert you over to the dark side. No, just kidding. To the football side. But anyway, sorry. So yeah, I'd love Celtic to be tax exempt and talk about like getting tax, even getting our money back, which we paid for tax before, to invest in the Glasgow region, Glasgow area. So buying footballs and football kits and football pitches, equipment and so forth, training equipment and so forth for young kids from Glasgow, especially at youth level, to play football. And I think that that'd be good use of the money as well, because as I say, it could cut back on crime and help a quite deprived and poor region, rather than be used for wars or trade, and things like that. But although, having said that, you could say that in cutting crime, you actually, I don't know if coincidentally is the right word, but you're actually helping taxpayers anyway, because that cuts back on the costs of crime, which normally affect the taxpayer, like having to have more police or having to have more healthcare for people who get ill, who have drink problems or whatever other such problems that come from being a deprived area. So anywho, that's one of my dreams. I say I love Celtic to pay as little tax as possible, and instead to use that money to help people in developing countries, possibly even Iraq, instead, like things like that. But although I know the money they save from tax, maybe they could just spend on the local region, and but yeah, I don't know, maybe there could be a deal where they give money to people like to help rebuild buildings in Iraq that were destroyed in the war, arguably an illegal war, and could get that off their taxes or stuff like that. I'm not a tax expert, so I can't really say. Otherwise, I'll probably look at ways. But that's one of my dreams anyway. I talked about like before about how it's quite idealistic, but it's one of my dreams to Celtic to keep more of its revenue as much as possible, to invest in players and things like that. Like this video itself, if it generates any views or money, generates money, revenue or whatever. So then I'll donate it to the club, but as soon as possible, but ASAP, as I say. But so therefore, I think any Celtic fans, I think it'd be great if they support this video specifically, at least, and the other ones to do with Celtic, because any money they make would go back to the club. So if you're a fan of Celtic and you want to see the club do better, I'm sure nowadays finances are a part of, where they can buy players. I know I've talked before about to some Celtic fans about if the club gets a lot of money, and they said, but the problem is the owners apparently don't really want. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's a chance for the owners to prove that they do want to spend money on the club. But people say they don't want to spend money on a lot of clubs now. Apparently, the owners really want, and unlike Man City, a lot of owners, like people say Man United or Arsenal, clubs like that, they say the owners just want to keep more of the profits, and they use it as a cash crop. Whereas like Man City, they seem to be investing in the club a lot. So that's one of my dreams. The biggest one perhaps is and perhaps I should save this till last, but the biggest one is for Celtic to win the most trophies in Scotland, and certainly as many trophies as possible. Obviously, that's the dream, I'm sure, of every football club. But I know Celtic works as like a family and things like that. So, but obviously, winning on the pitch will make you happy, and I'm sure most Celtic fans want to win. That's one of the biggest priorities, if not the biggest. Obviously, other than staying safe and things like that. But yeah, so to win as many trophies as possible, preferably to become the most successful club in Scotland. Obviously, it won't be able to become as big as clubs like Real Madrid or Barcelona because they're in bigger leagues, bigger countries, and things like that. And obviously, they have more resources. They won loads of Champions League. So even if Celtic suddenly got loads of money to compete over time, I can't imagine obviously winning as many trophies. Even as much as I like to imagine things and have big dreams, even I can't imagine Celtic winning that many trophies. But it would be cool if they could win the most in Scotland and become Scotland's most successful club, and as I say, win as many trophies as possible. I'd also like them to be ethical, operate within the law, which I talked about before. So I'm covering some of the main points which I talked about in the list, and I'd love them to Celtic fans to just be happy and also hopefully enjoy wins and to win as much as possible, and to I lost my train of thought, so I'm sure there's something that was on my mind, but I can't remember. To win as much as possible, and to enjoy it, to enjoy each victory, obviously to stay safe and the fans and all that. But yeah, to win as much as possible, as many trophies as possible, to become the top club in Scotland. I love tax deals, as I say, to pay the least possible tax, just because I disagree with how a lot of tax is spent, like on wars, as I say, weapons trade and things like that. And maybe instead, like that, as I say, that. But I suppose you can only spend the money once. So if the club did decide to spend it on football pitches and things like that for Glaswegians and things to help training, especially the youth, then I suppose they can't necessarily use the same money to help like homeless people in Glasgow or around the UK and around the world. But maybe there would be other bits of money that they could use with tax-free or something that they could use to support people across Africa and Asia. And again, that's another thing. I'd love them to have as many fans as possible from Africa and Asia and places like that, which I talked about before. So please check out my other videos as well. Yeah, and if you do check out those videos, please leave a comment about which were your least and most favourite parts. Hopefully you'll have some bits that you enjoy at least. And any other comments, questions, or anything like that. Yeah, so I'd love the club to win the most possible trophies, to become the most successful side in Scotland, to get tax deals, tax exemptions, also to fundraise for people across Africa, Asia, Indigenous people from the Americas, Australasia, Oceania, whatever you want to call it, to fundraise for African technology, which I think would help to lift a lot of people out of poverty, hopefully, because it's a key skill which could create a lot of jobs and general careers, and even you use for businesses. And again, the growth of the economies, which hopefully will be spread, and Africans can help each other to lift each other out of poverty and work together. And a place also like Ireland, which, as I said before, in my previous videos, has a strong is where Celtic originated from Irish immigrants, which is one of the reasons why it supported immigrants during the migration crisis. As I say, I'd love the club to have strong ethics, positive ethics, and be always within the law, legal and ethical, and things like that. And also to host many events like football matches, as I've talked about before, between young people from Italy and Celtic, to help each other practice. And like loads of competitions I'd love to create, or cups or whatever, like the MKS Cup or stuff like that. And I know Celtic already done a lot of charity events, so I hope to encourage them to do as many as possible. I'd love to be a part of them as well, about the I love to be part of the charity events. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up here and go for my shower because it's already 10 o'clock and I'm in a shower. So peace and love.